Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host for today. You know, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership, personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. You know, you can't give what you don't have. So first, you must grow yourself in order to grow others. So tonight we have with us another dynamic leader. Now, you know, every week I like to introduce our audience, do a proper introduction of our guests. So let me do a proper introduction of Mr. Josh Gordy. So Josh, first of all, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me. Thank you much.
Awesome. So Josh Gordy is a native of Washington County, Georgia. He graduated from Central Michigan University with a Bachelor of Science in Health, Fitness, and Rehabilitative Services. After being part of CMU football team for 5 years, he was blessed with the opportunity to play professionally in the National Football League, where he played for 6 years and won a Super Bowl during that time. Now, we're going to talk about that Super Bowl in a little bit. Doing that personal, doing his journey around personal finance, doing his journey, rather, personal finance became an important piece of his life. He was learning to live off of about 25% of his income. I'm going to say that again, folks. He was learning to live off of about 25% of his income. It wasn't until the end of his career that real estate and wealth building came into the picture, where he now has a rental retail portfolio. He owns an RV park as well as an outdoor retreat, D&D outdoor retreats, where companies can hold corporate retreats. And he also is a master financial coach under the Dave Ramsey brand. And that's actually where we met. Teaching anything real estate and wealth building to help close the wealth gap has really become a deep passion for Josh. His philanthropic efforts include Josh Gordy Hope Foundation, in which they bring awareness to the hemophilia community and provide scholarships to graduating seniors within the community. He currently resides in McDonough, Georgia, where he is married to Amber, and they have 2 kids, Micah and is it Jayla?
Jayla, yep.
Jayla, all right. So welcome, Josh, to the show.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it again. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. So, you know, I know your playing days are over now. So tell our audience a little bit more about what you've been doing since you are not playing anymore.
Yeah, man. So again, before we get started, appreciate you having me. Looking forward to it, man. I watched a couple episodes and I love what you're doing on the show, man. So definitely again appreciate it. But
thank you.
But yeah, man. So man, I'm just thinking about a year right now. 2015 was my last year playing. That's been 6 years ago. It flew by quick. But in that time, man, I didn't. I've dived in a few things, but mainly what's really rose to the surface is my real estate journey, which we spoke on. That's been sort of the main focus, also as well as running my RV park. Now, when I was fresh out, where we met, you know, personal finance, like you said, was very deep passion, still is. I did that financial coaching business for a while, and that was fun, you know. But yeah, man, really focused on real estate at the moment. Yeah, man, just trying to grow that.
All right. So, you know, we can't talk about all of this stuff today without talking about, you know, your time playing in the NFL. You're gonna have people on here saying, "Man, that man played in the NFL. We want to know. We want to know. We want to know." So let's talk a little bit about that. Then we'll dive into what you're doing post your career. So you played in the league for 6 years. Give us the teams you played for.
Yeah, man. So actually on a few different teams. For a lot of people who really don't know, a lot of how football works. A lot of us play for a few different teams. A lot of times we know the big name guys and they're with a team, possibly their whole career or things like that. But when you get down, middle age, your roster, whatever, a lot of role players, a lot of times we have to bounce around. So straight out of college, I actually went to Jacksonville, Jaguars. That was basically for training camp and was released the third preseason game of that year. And so from there, I was released for about 2 weeks. And then that's when I got picked up by the Green Bay Packers in 2010. And if anybody's a football buff, y'all know that was a good year for Green Bay. So it was a blessing in disguise for me to get released from Jacksonville and went on to win the big game.
see, folks, I'm not gonna press the dump button on that. All right.
But yeah,
Green Bay won that Super Bowl against my Steelers.
appreciate it. I'll wait on you to finish that. But yeah, appreciate it. Stayed in Green Bay for a year, and after that went on to St. Louis, and that was where I really had a significant amount of playing time. Pretty much started the whole season over there. And actually ended up ranked one of the top 3 cornerbacks in the league that year. But again, it was one of them years where the coaching staff was getting ready to switch over, change. So next year, another whole staff came in. And when that happens, just like any other business sometimes, they come in and clean house. So from there, I went on to Indianapolis for 3 years. Had a great time in Indy. Made a lot of memories there, especially with my family. That's when that's when my son was born at. So India, I always have a, special place in my heart for that. And then from Indy, went on to New York Giants for another short stay. But after a injury out there, that's pretty much what brought my playing days to an end. So 6 years, man, it was a blessing. I was shooting for 10, but still blessed to get that 6. And most importantly, was able to secure the pension and retirement benefits. So yeah,
that's always a blessing, then, right?
Sure.
So I think sometimes we call those people that switch teams a journeyman, right?
That's it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the journey is always the lesson, the stuff that you learn along the way, and actually sometimes it helps you later in life, right?
So, no doubt.
And so that's awesome, man. And I know I kid you about winning that Super Bowl against the Steelers. I went back and looked at some of the highlights today. See if something went, maybe something went a little wrong, and we can go back and protest.
Yeah. Fun. You know what? Fun fact about that. Shout out to my small colleges. Central Michigan, we had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we had the most players from one school in that Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we had 3 on our team and then Antonio on the Steelers. So we had a total of 4 people. Now I know for sure the MAC conference had the most players in that Super Bowl.
Okay.
So that just goes to show you that there's more small, like any aspiring athletes, like no matter what school you go to,
right.
You get to that level, the cream of the crop is gonna rise. So
absolutely. And there was a whole lot of talk about the MAC conference this year with the Steelers coach mentioned the MAC conference doing a press conference or something, and then there was this big uproar around the MAC conference and
get it done, man. We'll get it done.
Oh, that is awesome, man. So you are dealing with your real estate business. You are you still have the financial coaching stuff in your background, but mainly handling your real estate assets, right? So
yes,
when you're in a league, what do they do to help you prepare for, understanding financial literacy or preparing for when the day those checks stop coming?
Well, I would say every training camp, there's always a period of, it's a series where they have different people from different professions come in, speak to us, like in a whole team meeting setting type environment. And one thing they would do a lot was bring in financial advisors. Now I have somewhat of a beef with the way they handle it a lot of times. They bring in advisors, but as like me and a lot of times the problem can be rooted a little bit deeper than that. I think it needs to be more on the ground roots level. The things that when we met, things we were getting taught how to teach other people. Budgeting, the groundwork,
Right.
and budgeting is one of the main ones. So how advisors get paid. They get
Right.
paid by the more assets they control, blase. So they would always come in, have a slideshow and quick budget, throw it up and keep moving. Okay, now this is what we really want to talk about. You guys want to make your money grow, such and such. So I think that we could do a better job of taking a step back, more on the grassroots level, teaching guys how to lay those expenses out, and like I mentioned, I would only set aside a certain amount that I would live off of and let the others sit, type thing. So yeah, they do a pretty good job. And honestly, after you're done, you get more in tune with a lot more of that stuff, because you got a lot more time now, and really trying to figure it out. You're in a different world now. So
Right.
you said the checks are stopped. So you got to know how to make that. You got to learn how to make it stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, teaching 19, but like 24-year-old, 23-year-old kids really still understand. All of a sudden you have all this big pot of money, but it can go just like this if you don't pay attention to it.
Exactly.
Right. And understanding all those little bills, that little things that add up, and then all of a sudden all the relatives that you've never seen before start calling. Right. And you can't help everybody.
Yep.
So Josh, tell us, why was financial literacy so important to you to take it to that next level, even when we met at the Dave Ramsey Master Financial Coaching class?
Yeah. And that's especially, I think I didn't realize the most important thing about it until I really dove into that world. Personal finance touch every area of your life, no matter, how, if you want to say it or not, how you want to say it, but that with your financial literacy, family, faith, whatever, personal finance comes into play, because if you're not in tune with what you're doing, you're gonna be stressed and not doing the things you really want to do, being able to grow your personal wealth, family wealth, anything in the future, without having that personal financial education behind it. And even speaking to like the real estate business now, if I didn't have that in place, no matter how successful I am in real estate, if I don't have that personal financial background and that backing, I'll be done to spend everything I got, and I'm sitting here like, oh, this stuff don't work, because now I'm still sitting in the same hole. But as long as you got that foundation of knowing, how to budget that money and whatnot, what have you, you can always have some more to keep reinvesting. And as you know, that's the basic principle of building wealth. Keep reinvesting your profit so they can keep making more and more money for you. So really important, very important to me and my family.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the Josh Gordy Hope Foundation, and why did you develop, and what do you guys, what it's all about, and why you develop it?
Yeah, man. So that was we developed in 2012. HOPE, which stands for Hemophilia Outreach Plus Education. Hemophilia was actually, it's a bleeding disorder that my family had never heard of until I had a nephew born with it. That was the first time we had learned about it. And, it was always one of my things, if I made it to a platform like, say, the NFL, I wanted to make sure I got the most out of it. I was a guy coming out in high school, you never thought would have been in that position, get into that. But I said, if I make it that far, I'm going to make sure I squeeze the butt out of the duck with it. So, I really developed that along with my sister. So every year we're having different events and functions to help, fund the nonprofit. And actually this year on April 3rd at my RV park, we're having an ATV trail ride, which all the proceeds will be going to the nonprofit for that. And so every year we're rewarding anywhere from 3 to 4 high school seniors who in one way or another are affected by hemophilia and who's also been advocating in the community for hemophilia, $1,000 scholarships every year, right? Like I said, 3 or 4 of those. And I think 2 years ago, we actually sponsored a family to attend a national conference. It's a national inhibitor summit that they call it, but it's with the National Hemophilia Foundation. And those conferences can cost anywhere from, $5,000 a piece for families. And some families, just can't afford that. So we like to be able to give those families the opportunity to go to those conferences. For one, just being around other people, no matter what just think of like your hobby, right? No matter what it is, you like to be around people with the same mindset, going through the same things. That same principle with that. You want to get those people connected with other people in the community going through the same thing. Even with these conferences, like even though hemophilia is a small community itself, even the inhibitor summit, that's even smaller itself within the hemophilia community. So that speaks. That really helps them connect with a smaller population, just like them. So that was one of the major things that we did and was proud of. So.
Okay. All right. So you said April 3rd, you guys are having a fundraiser.
Correct. April 3rd. Yep.
And is there somewhere that people can go online to support it, or they just have to be there in person?
Nope, absolutely. And we timed this a day late. Yep, because yesterday was you can still register, but yesterday was the last day to register for a guaranteed T-shirt. But they can go to the RV Park website, which is Worthen-RV-Park. And Worthen is spelled WARTHEN-RV-Park. And there's a simple link. You can use to sign up there. And then we get it on our end with there you go. Yep. Sign up there, man. We're looking forward to a good time. It's a day-long event, praying for good weather. So, everybody come out, set your own, personal canopy tents up, grilling out, playing games type thing. We got hookups available. People want to pull their RVs in or tents and camp at, make it a weekend thing. So we got about a good 4-hour trail ride planned for the ATV ride that day. So it should be some good fun.
Okay, awesome. Well, folks, you see the website on the screen, and also, April 3rd is when the Hope Foundation is going to have their fundraiser. So if you can support it, go and support it. And it's in what's the town again in Georgia?
Worthen, Georgia.
Worthen, Georgia. Okay.
Yep. Small town.
All right. Well, folks, if you're close to Worthen, Georgia, or you heading toward Worthen, Georgia, you've ever wanted to go to Worthen, Georgia, April 3rd is the day you want to be there, right, Josh?
That's it, man. Fun fact about Worthen, Georgia, we are home to Georgia's oldest jail. So you can Google that. It's a little wooden shack that was like the first jail recorded in Georgia. It's crazy. I don't know. Yep.
All right. Well, hopefully some of our guests will go online and support this great foundation trying to help people who are impacted by hemophilia. You may know a friend or relative or friend of a friend who has a relative that is impacted by hemophilia. This is one foundation that you can go and help support. So when you were playing in the league, did you ever think that, hey, one of these days when I get out, I'm going to be really out there being an entrepreneur, or I'm going to be in the finance industry trying to help people understand financial financial literacy, or did you think about what you were going to be doing when you retire?
You know what? I will say probably my last probably year and a half of playing, that was my mindset, exactly what you just said. But yeah, the first few years, I mean, honestly, especially being a journeyman, man, I was focused on make sure I made this team, this year. A lot of guys they blessed with knowing they're gonna be here. They're not going nowhere next year, whatever. But guys like in my similar situation, every training camp, I mean, you're fighting to stay because it's a business right there. They're always looking to replace you for somebody cheaper. That is what it is. So, but yeah, man. But toward the end, especially after I had dove into it and really got deep into personal finance, and I think it was for me. I was like, man, like this stuff can really change people's lives, in one way, shape, form, or fashion. I was like, I would really love to be able to be a person to give that back to my community, to my family, actually, I think I did do a pretty good job because even in my own family, like, it started to spread throughout, and everybody was, hey, what's this about? Can we have some advice on this, that, and whatever. But yeah, really wanted to pursue that after I was done, and that's why I decided to do the financial coaching training. So.
Awesome. So, hey, Cedrick, thanks very much for putting the website in the comments so people can just click on the link right in the comments. So I appreciate that, brother. Josh, well, it's kind of a twofold question. One, what makes you smile when you get up in the morning?
Man, yeah, I was thinking about this, but just being able to make my own schedule. You know what? I don't know any way else to put it, but when I really was thinking about how I wanted to design my life after I was done, that was one of the main things that was at the top of my list. It wasn't to have, a whole boatload of money, which obviously money plays a part in making this reality happen. But it was more so from a family standpoint. I want to make sure that whatever my kids have going on throughout their young years growing up, I want to be able to be there for it, and not having to miss it, because we grew up knowing a lot of our parents or whatever. A lot of people they couldn't be there because they had to
work.
They had to go trade their time for money, and I wanted to try something different. But again, and we'll dive into it. But yeah, seeing my kids every day and seeing them healthy.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And here's the thing. You have options, right?
Options.
When you set yourself up financially, you have the option to not do anything if you don't want to, versus I got to go punch that clock. I got to go change that time for money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes a big difference. And so the second part of this is, when a lot of NFL players and I have some friends that are retired from NBA, and they are very I don't want to say loud and boisterous, but they are definitely out there. You it's like, oh, that guy there, you're crazy. He's playing the league and and all this type of stuff. And you are like totally the opposite.
Yeah.
I remember meeting you for the first time, and you're just like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And me and you, and I think it was Sean. I think the guy's name was Sean. And we're just talking, and you're just like chilled and laid back. And so how is it that you're just chilled and laid back and everybody else is like...
You know what, man? I think it's probably more, believe it or not, it's probably more people similar to how I am than the other way around. I would believe. But man, I don't know. That's how I grew up. I was just always been the same person, man. I can meet with my high school classmates today. I'm the same person I was 2005, But yeah, to me, I don't get nothing out of being boisterous about it. and nothing like that.
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
live a steady lifestyle, man. No ups and downs. Trying to keep it steady. Good for my health.
Hey, I agree with you. Definitely, I love that. So, building wealth is a long-term game, right? So many people don't understand that it's that I call it it's an oven type of thing versus a microwave type thing, right? Some people think that boom, I'm gonna get up today, I'm gonna win the lottery, and then I'm gonna be this rich guy, and I'm gonna keep all this money or whatever. Or some kids growing up think, boom, I'm gonna go get that big fat contract in the league, whatever league that is, and I'm gonna do these things. But for most people, it's not really this get rich quick thing. It's the things that you do every day consistently with your money. So what do you think is a good way to help people understand and change their line of thinking around building wealth and setting themselves up financially?
Yeah, man. When I speak about building wealth, I always take it back to like building a house. You got to start with a foundation, right? And that's one process that you cannot rush. You can't rush that foundation, because if you rush that and it's not set and cured, your house is gonna eventually crumble. So that's the way I like to approach it a lot of times. And I tell people, look, it's not, you might not see it. You might not see it the first couple of years, but over time, with that consistent effort, putting in the work, consistently putting that money to the side, keeping it growing and growing, letting compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world, work for you. Outside of your mind frame, outside of your eyesight. That's how you're gonna eventually do it. And again, like you said, it's those small everyday steps. Man, just went to get some lunch today. You pulled out the envelopes. Hey, my wife, she's more on top of it now than I am.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Stop right there. I'm going to finish. So here's, folks in the audience, I want you to understand. He's a retired NFL player. He said he got the Dave Ramsey envelopes, the money envelopes. See? So if he's doing it and you're working over there making that $15, $5 an hour, do you think you should be doing it? Now, there's nothing wrong with what you're making.
Right.
But it's how you control what you're making. So go ahead.
That's it, man. And because a lot of time, man, just human behavior, naturally you can fall into what we call a lifestyle creep. You make a little more, you spend a little more. You make a little, and at the end, you're still at the same level. But what we need to really start to teach people, you make a little more, you spend the same. You make a little more, spend the same. And that space in between, that's where you're taking that money, investing it, making it work for you. So now you can lower the time that you actually got to trade your actual time for money, and now your money is working for you. As long as you keep, I was talking to somebody yesterday about it. As long as you keep having to trade your time for money, that's finite. You only got so many hours a day that you can do that, or else you're gonna kill yourself. Right. But your money, it works 24/7. It works 24/7, whether it be in the market, whether it be in real estate, what have you. It's constantly. You go to sleep at night, it's still working. It's still bringing the bacon home to you. That's how I like to break it down to a lot of folks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you what, folks, when your money is working for you, life is gonna be different, right? All of a sudden now, having the latest and greatest. Hey, look, Jordan is a great guy, right? But it's not gonna help me none having a whole room full of Jordan shoes, and I can't figure out how I'm gonna pay the water bill.
Mm-hmm. And now you bring that up, man. I think in my whole lifetime, I probably owned 3 pair, and I think, and looking back, I'm pretty sure one of those pairs was a fake one back in college. And I was, in college, you found out on your own. You got a little money in my pocket from like the, you get your scholarship refund checks and stuff. So went online, bought me a pair. Nobody probably knew back then, but thinking back, I'm like, man, think it was a kind of sketchy website.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure there was probably some fake Jordans.
That didn't even look like Mike on those shoes. It looked like Ike.
Yeah, might have had a belly or something on there. Man, I'm just thinking though. Even then, like, I think my I know I'm way off topic now, but my relationship with money started back when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
Just I haven't learned an appreciation for a dollar. When I was 8, I started going to work with my granddad, and we were doing I was doing some hard labor type work. We was in the pine straw field, baling pine straw. I don't know if y'all have pine straw in Texas.
No, I don't
So
know.
you put mulch around your flower beds.
Yeah.
Ground up trees. So pine straw, which comes from pine trees, we would go out, rake it up, bale it up, and then somebody come buy it and sell it. But that's what a lot of people use in Georgia around their shrubbery, which is pine. And so we were kind of the manufacturer, if you will, of that. But just doing that at an early age instead of having an hourly job, I do appreciate it to this day, because if you didn't work, you didn't make no money. That's how it worked. It was straight commission. And it wasn't easy, so, but yeah, that's kind of where my healthy appreciation for a dollar come from.
Okay. All right. If there were, like I said earlier, there's no get rich quick type of thing. And there's no magic formula to it either. There's formulas, but there's no magic formula to it. Right. So if you had to give our audience 2 or 3 important things that they could do to start today.
Yep.
What would that be?
Making a budget. Number 1, make a budget, because there's no way you can think that you're gonna live within your means and have extra to invest if you don't know what you're spending in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. I just had them. So making a budget. Number 2, living within your means. So that goes sort of back to that. Living within your means, and always be willing to invest the difference into something that's going to make more money for you. And that's, in a nutshell, it's a simple way to build wealth. And even after you have more income coming in, that's when that discipline is going to test you. Can I still live on what I'm making, even though I got $3,000 in excess that I could do anything with? Let's go invest some of that, or majority of that, to make it grow even more. So budgeting, living within your means, investing the difference.
I love it. I want to put this in the comments so that audience can grab a hold of that, because that's the difference. I want to make sure that people get it. It's just so important, man. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to do the Dave Ramsey Master Financial Coach program, because I said, look, I want to help people understand how to manage money. I want to help people understand that they too, no matter what their income level is, they too can become well off financially. They may not become a millionaire, but they can still live a comfortable lifestyle if they manage their money correctly.
Exactly.
So, we were in this Dave Ramsey Master Financial Coach class, and what's something that you learned from that course that you implemented in your life, and you say, hey, I know that this just really worked for me?
Yeah, I think, again, man, it was kind of more of a bigger picture overview. I think when you just learn how to really sit down, meet people where they at, that really, because it also tests you as well. If you're out here being a coach to somebody, it's going to hold you accountable too, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So I think it really helped. It really helped my discipline, my household discipline, even while teaching others, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was really one of the biggest things. I guess that wasn't really during the class, but even after I left the class, sitting down with these folks. I'm like, hey, shoot, if I'm gonna be doing this, I got to make sure I stay the track.
Right. Yeah. You don't
So
be telling people you doing to do something and you not doing it. Right.
It's like the trainer, training you and going out eating the Tweakers after the session. Can't be doing that. But
exactly. Have a trainer with it. That's why I can't never be a fitness trainer because this stomach out front here. So the magic question is: do you have to make a lot of money to be financially stable?
No, sir, not at all, not at all. And again, I've talked to a lot of people, mainly people my age. Like, oh man, you talked that because you did such and such. I'm like, well, if you had that mindset, you'll never do it in the first place. You can't think like that. But no, absolutely not. You don't have to. And then a lot of people are like, oh, okay, when I make this certain amount of money, then I'll start doing it. No, that's not how it works. It works by you starting, you making a decision today, starting today. That I'm gonna take baby steps. I'm gonna take small steps, to make sure I get to that point. But that can be the toughest thing, getting people to see that long-term vision. A lot of people, unfortunately, we live in a microwave society. Like you said, we want it, and we want it our way. We want it right now. So
yeah, too many people want it right now. Like
right now.
Hey, Josh, you worked hard to get that money. Can you give it to me?
Yeah. Right. And man, you know what, man? And even at the beginning of doing financial coaching, I used to always feel kind of guilty, man. I was like, because I had a different situation, obviously. But but I met another mentor myself, and he was like, "Nah, man, no need to feel like that because you had to sacrifice. You sacrificed things that other people didn't to be able to reap those rewards. In college, you couldn't go out every day like most of the student body could if they wanted to. You had to rest so you can practice next day, stuff like that. Even making it all the way, it's sacrifice that go into that. But so yeah, I had to really challenge myself on that to see it differently.
Yeah, I look at it as no different as a business guy that worked and build this financial portfolio up so that he could then do the things he wanted to do later in life. People don't look at him and say, well, hey, why don't you just give this money away? Well, hey, that athlete, it wasn't about technically sales or something like this. But you know what? I didn't get on that practice field every day when you were on that practice field. I wasn't in that workout facility in that cold bath or whatever y'all do up in there.
Catching full body cramps. My first practice, man, my rookie year. First practice, I'm in Jacksonville, hot. I'm just so, everything's just like this. So you're in the meeting room. That's how they throw a lot of information at you. See what you can retain. See how good you can retain that playbook whole time. I mean, I'm studying so hard, my ears were burning, like literally burning. I never experienced that before in my life. I'm like, man, what's going on with my ears? But the whole time I'm not hydrating, not drinking, just taking note, man, get to practice. You trying to balls to the wall, trying to show out whatever. Man, after practice, man, whole lower body cramps, whole body cramped up. I was actually in the cold tub. Now that you mention it, I was like, man, something ain't feeling right. Let me get out. I got out, man. As soon as I stepped out of that thing, locked up.
Wow.
35 minutes straight, man. I had to put IVs in me. I'm laid, man. You talking about some pain?
Yeah.
Then after that, I'm sore for 2 days. So I got to go out there and practice again with sore legs. So that was a trying time, man.
Yeah. And then somebody come talking about, hey man, loan me 100,000 right quick. Get out of here.
Yeah, man. It's tough, man.
I hear you. So, Josh, we have a segment on here that we call Would You Rather, right? And in this segment, I just asked you some would you rather questions. So they're actually pretty fun. They're nothing hard. So would you rather use your weak hand to eat with or to write with?
Eat with.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Would you rather have to pay everything with pennies or with $100 bills for the rest of your life?
Did I get my change back with the $100
No,
bill?
you don't get no change because if it costs $5, you give them a $95 tip.
Oh man, that's a caveat, huh? Man. You know what? And who I am? Man, I'm about to go with the pennies, man.
They're gonna be getting a lot of pennies.
Yeah, man.
All right.
And my kids rolling up hundreds of pennies every day. So I can have them ready.
Would you rather meet your great grandparents or your great grandchildren?
Ooh. Oh man, that's a good one. Children, man.
Children?
Yeah. I have to have my own kids, man. It's just I got something for kids now, man. So I think it'll be kids.
You want to depart that knowledge on them before you leave.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I got you. Would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
Pause. Think pause.
Pause. All right.
Yep.
A few more here. Would you rather be stuck in an elevator or stuck on a ski lift?
Man.
Go ahead and say you're scared of height.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm gonna go elevator, man. Give me we may be up in the air, but I'm not gonna feel like I'm up in the air.
See, NFL players get scared of height too.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a pirate or a ninja?
Ninja all day.
Ninja. All right. So 2 more. Would you rather pick the year you died or the way you die?
Ooh, Jesus. I think I'm gonna go year.
The year. Okay.
Yeah. Playing some stuff out accordingly, you know.
All right, last one. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
Gift cards.
Gift cards. Okay.
Gift cards. I'm gonna buy some stuff in bulk. You know I'm going with it after that.
Amazon is showing up at that house every day anyway, so right?
It just came today, man.
Yeah.
Man,
so get some gift cards and then you can just load it on up. So thanks very much for playing that version of Would You Rather. So how important is having an emergency fund?
Oh man, very important, and not even just go to the importance of it, just the feeling. You know, when you got that, you got that cash, that cushion you're sitting on, knowing that no matter what happens today while I'm out riding or whatever, or in the house for anything, you know it's not going to derail your financial journey. You know, if I'm sitting on that, oh man, hot water heater making a funny noise. You know, okay, let's write the check, get it fixed, boom, bam. But very important because a lot of times those a lot of the small things that can derail people's financial journey. Something goes wrong, oh, I gotta get it fixed quick. Let's finance that type thing. You know, so and then now that stuff is starting to build up on this side, you know, in your debt column rather than your asset income column. But so that's the importance of it. That's another level of security feeling, I would say. So
yeah, absolutely. Because Murphy gonna show up right when you're not expecting it.
Man, every time. One invited, just showing up.
Exactly. Coming up to the family picnic, folks, and he's grabbing a plate and leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably grab a couple plates.
Couple of them. All right, we'll see y'all.
Exactly. So what do you say to a person, Josh, if someone says, man, Josh, I really love to go to, like FPU, Financial Peace University. I'd like to go to that, or I'd like to go to this financial literacy course, but I just can't afford to pay for that.
Yeah. And that was the thing I ran into a lot when I was doing financial coaching. And you gotta let people know the value of that. Okay, you're paying $50 for this session or whatever, it could probably be higher than that, honestly, but you're paying this, but studies show within that first 90 days that people are turning their lives around by thousands of dollars. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer if you got any kind of business sense to you. You know that's a minor investment into your company, your life, if you will. And I know my business owners, I know they can relate to it because you're willing to pay that fee for that marketing personnel to be able to make you more money on the back end. It's the same way, same concept. Let somebody who knows about the process, been through it, helped others do it, let them look at what you have going on so they can make a bigger return on that small minimum fee, for that session. So yeah, it's well worth the value.
Absolutely.
So definitely, I always recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So, hey, now you've been a business owner for a while. So what's one or two things that you learned about yourself being a business owner?
I can't do it all by myself.
Okay.
That's sort of my nature. But last year I really made a conscious effort to start delegating things within the business itself. So that was the main thing about that. Too, man, I guess I always knew I had to hustle, but really saw it in myself over these past few years, the real estate journey. I had a goal in mind. I said, okay, how can I get to this goal in the best way, in the most efficient way possible? And so even with a lot of my real estate, man, I was hands-on with the rehab. Had an uncle who's very well in construction. And I was right alongside with him, learning everything, but at the end of the day, it helped me reach that goal, like I said, even faster if I would have just, iron everything out, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, man, so I was able to do that in an efficient way by doing that.
Awesome.
Reaching that goal.
Awesome. Well, that's always good to learn about yourself when you're going through some journeys, and sometimes it helps propel you to that whole next level. So, a lot of people, Josh, die without life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you see things on social media, got to GoFundMe for this or GoFundMe for that and all that type of stuff. Especially in our community. Why do you think that's one of those things why do you think having that life insurance is so important, and someone that says, hey, I don't know that we can put that in our budget right now?
Yeah. Again, it goes, I think, it goes back to another like security feeling. I know that if something happens to me, my family's going to be okay, at the end of the day. And I like to study wealthy people. I like to study what wealthy families do. Believe it or not, well, I know you would know, but that's not a lot of times. That's how a lot of wealth is passed down. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They pass away and that policy goes into their estate. Now they just became, a few more $1 million wealthier. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, in our community don't do it. It's a crazy reason that I've heard. I don't know what you may have heard, but man, I get life insurance. That just means I'm about to die soon. I'm like, man, that's the craziest stuff I've ever heard. But and you just got to do it, man. You got to see the benefit in it. Again, go out, go take time out if it's important to you, which it should be. Think about your kids or whoever you're gonna leave that money to. Think about the importance of them when you're contemplating, should I go, look into it or not. There's many options, and I'm a term believer, and it's the minimum cost for the amount of payout you get once time has come. So.
Absolutely agree with that. And folks, I want to look right in the camera, folks, and I want to tell you one thing. It's a secret you may not understand, and I learned this a long time ago. So I need you to get a pen and paper, and I need you to write it down, because I'm telling you, it's 100% accurate. Right? It's no debate about it. What I want to tell you is, you will die. Okay. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We all are going to go that way at some point, right? Some go younger and some go way older, but at some point we're all going that way. So you need to prepare your family especially if you have dependents.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford to die without life insurance because you're putting your family at risk.
Yeah, and it's time. It's time we change the thinking behind that, man. Because so many years, that's a lot of people been doing, dying and leaving, not leaving, additional assets, but leaving debt to the next generation. I mean, common sense to tell you that if a family's trying to get ahead, no way that's going to happen if you started putting a load on somebody else just down the line where other families are leaving, more wealth to them,
Yeah.
So, and also just like investing, it's very beneficial to look at life insurance as early as possible. Because more than likely, that's when you're gonna get your best rate, and
Yes.
get it locked in. So if you've been thinking about it, look into it tomorrow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see Dr. Nick is tuned in. She said, mortality is 100% facts.
Okay. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. So, Josh, what can people do to help their kids become financially accountable?
I think the first thing is, because they pick up more of what you do than what you say. So the first thing is, you can be doing it yourself. That's the first thing. Secondly, it's kind of speaking to what we do personally. If kids are doing any kind of, get them do any kind of work, whatever. I have them doing some computer work sometime. Logging water bills for the rental properties. They do that. I give them $1, whatever. And they know, okay.
Wait, John, he's 15 years old. You're giving him $1.
What? My kid's 75, so
okay,
on a different pay scale. Yeah, you may want to get a 15-year-old a little more, give him a little more responsibility, so you can get a little more change in his pocket.
Right.
But they learned it already because they know that they got their own jar in their room with their money in it. So when it's time to go to the store, they want to take their money. It's amazing to see, just even in kids, like they sitting there contemplating, like, oh man,
yeah.
I want this Lego set, for $30, or do I want to wait, get some more so I can get this even bigger Lego set? So, it's definitely it's amazing seeing that type behavior.
Yeah.
That's the way that's kind of way we handle it now. In these years, I'm sure it'll change once teenage years comes, obviously.
Sure.
But that's where we at.
Well, that's good that you're teaching them those lessons early on, right? And then what's going to happen is they're going to learn these lessons, and then they're going to go on, and they're building that muscle. So, like when you were working out, right? They build that muscle, right? And now all of a sudden they carry it into their teen years, they carry it into adulthood, and then they change what their kid, or they teach their kids those things, right? So now you're changing generations.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Learn them how to have some skin in the game. I think that's a good way to wrap it up. Just show them how to have some skin in the game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with you. And I wish that, I know in some school districts, they teach financial literacy. Some still don't. They're struggling with it. But I always, I tell people in school district all the time, look, at the end of the day, every person on the planet is going to need to understand math, because whether they're buying a soda pop or they're buying a house or a business, they got to know that what that money is. There they go, that thing where the money is, Dr. Nick. So they're going to have to know those things, right? And they're going to have to know. So they're going to need those life skills more than almost anything else that they get in school. So it's important at home that we're teaching these principles as well.
Absolutely.
So tell us, I know we're early in this year, but what's been one of the, there go Dr. Nick say, where the money resides.
Where the money resides.
So what's been, the best thing that's happened to you so far this year?
And I think I'll go, probably business related, but was able to purchase a property, which is the outdoor retreat we talked about. It's always been kind of a dream of mine. And at first, the wife didn't. I don't think she had a dream, but now that we have it, it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. But my dream was always to have a lake house type place to go get away. But was able actually to purchase a piece of property that's just on the house on it. So, and with a lot of acres on it and everything, big pond for fishing. But man, when you talk about just going down, like going out for the weekend, again, make your own schedule. We went out one time, supposed to be going for 2 days, stayed for a whole week, just hanging out there. But, I really like that because the kids, they love being out there. And that's a good way to keep them out of the house, off the technology and everything. So as a family, everybody's been enjoying it. Even my extended family come out, use the property. So yeah, been liking that, man. That's been a good thing for us this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It goes back to what we talked about earlier, building in options in your life so that you can do those things when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and all this type of stuff. And that's really, folks, the reason why financial literacy is so important, the reason why you have to understand where your money goes. And Josh said earlier, 3 things: set a budget, live within your means, and invest the difference. And then on the back end of your life, it gives you a lot of different options.
I think a lot of people, they can use, that's another way you say, how can you get people to see that long term? Put that dream out there, put it out there in front of you so you can see it. Okay, now this is what I'm working toward. I want to be able to work toward, something like that or whatever it is. Options, you went back to it, options. You talk to everybody, I think that's what a lot of people want, being able to just have options.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, this hour went by quick.
Oh, man, I didn't realize the time.
Yeah. I appreciate you. See, folks, when people are having a good time, they don't even realize the time. So it's the same thing in your life, folks. When you're having a good time, time just flies by. And I want to thank you, Josh, for taking the time to come out on Talk Leadership with Cedrick and helping our audience understand financial literacy.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, man. I can go 2 or 3 hours on it.
Hey, we're going to take him up on that, folks. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you one last question. If there was a book that was written about you, what would the title be? And what would the summary of the book say about you?
Yeah, I had to come up with 2, man. I was thinking about that. Either time would be the title of one. I'm just a big believer in time because you can't get it back. So how can you make the best of your time? And another would probably be split decision. And that goes back to my high school days, which I said we'll probably touch on it, but make it quick. I know we're coming up.
Okay.
But yeah, my senior year, man, high school, halfway my senior year, like I was barely even playing football. I was barely even playing. I'm on the sidelines playing special teams. A lot of guys who make it the whole way, they was a star person in high school. I was complete opposite. Midway, we had a guy get hurt, and I had a little speed. That is what I had, but it was like, hey, you want to try it? You want to try it at this position? And I stood there for a second. I'm like, I never played safety. I don't know. I said, sure, I'll try it. In that split decision time, like that changed my whole life without even knowing it. What if I had said no?
Right.
Okay, it went back to just being that average Joe person. I was already accepted to a couple schools just to go regular student. Could have went to the Air Force because I was in ROTC in high school. So I had those options, but I was like, sure, I'll try it, whatever. And but just something clicked, man. 6 interceptions, 80-something tackles in that last half of my senior year, 2 return for touchdown.
Wow.
And then that's how I was able to get a scholarship to Central Michigan. That's part of the way that I had to go so far. I was just such a late bloomer. But yeah, man, it was, you talking about life changing decision in that split decision time.
Wow.
You just never know. You never know how it's going to work out. So
absolutely, that's an amazing story, just right there.
Yeah. I love telling to kids, man, and it speaks to a lot of those kids who are not playing right now. I say, man, but you got to stay ready. A lot of kids they get down, they stop giving it as much as they got, and that was one thing, I just kept doing what I had to do it, practicing hard, lifting weights, whatever. when I got that chance, I was ready. You know, if I hadn't been taking it serious, hadn't been studying the playbook and nothing like that, wouldn't have been ready, and could have easily went on to the next guy. But you know, I always stay ready is what I tell young kids nowadays. You never know.
Wow, well, that is an awesome story right there. To tell people of always be ready for first of all.
Stay ready.
And when your number get called, don't say, "Well, I don't know." Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Whether you're ready or not, you just go out there and you'll get ready when you're on the field.
Yeah, and I coached. So I coached for a while. I coached a year or two down in Georgia, and that was my main thing, man. When I'm coaching these guys on the field, I always look to the sideline. I ask one of the guys who's not playing, "Hey, what's the play?" If they don't know, they already know. Go hit a lap. No reason why you shouldn't be in tune with what's going on the field, because you're not out here getting the live reps. The mental reps are just as important as the live reps. You can learn something from the guys on the field that's doing it wrong. So when you get out here, you can't get it wrong, because in the game, he gets hurt. You got to be that same person that was on the field before you.
Right.
If you drop the ball, the whole team, you let the whole team down. Absolutely. So you gotta be paying attention, man.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, again, Josh, I totally appreciate you coming on the show, man. Definitely enjoyed it. And remember, go to his website. Let me put that right back up on the screen right quick so that people remember that. Yep. Worthen-RV-Park.com. Donate April 3rd. They're having a fundraiser for the Hope Foundation, and they helps people dealing with hemophilia. So go to the website and make a donation, give something back in life. And I know that they'll definitely appreciate it at the Hope Foundation. So thank you guys very much. Remember, as I tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu.